I mean, it really doesn't, and I pick everybody else's brain there because over there it's super cool. I mean, you know how it is. It's like you just learn from kind of everybody. I feel like you get trapeze artists, you get physicists, philosophers, ex-cons, uh, yogis, Pilates, all that, they all kind of goes there. And if you're not really there picking people's brains, it's sort of like you're missing the point of just working out over there. It's sort of like, it's a special place. I don't know if I really get that vibe from other parks. And the vibe actually has changed. I remember feeling the same way, where the guy who actually got me into like working out at this park specifically, when I was like maybe even in high school, I used to go down the dip bar or something like that. He would just like bro, like bro, you take it towards like get off the bar, like get out of here, like you're just a little kid or whatever. And then only until years later did we kind of like, oh, like you come work out with me, blah blah blah, this and that. And his boys were working out, but they were kind of like complaining, this, that, whatever. And I was kind of like here in the mix, kind of like trying to stay out their way. He was like, I've seen you here like 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, like, F these guys, like just come and work out, whatever. And then when it kind of got cold, I kind of thought that was kind of it. And then he kind of like was like, bro, like where are you? Like you think it's, you think that changed anything? And he was the one that was like, you measure your time here by the winters. So I'm like, yeah, like, okay. Like almost like how many moons or how many this or how many that. But like, he probably taught me the most on how to like approach this. Because he was always like, he'd come in, close the gate, and he'd be like, the park is now closed to ordinary civilians. Like just flat out, just close the gate. But he was like halfway joking. Like he was just like, yeah, but no, like you can't be here messing around. And he was super cool. Like the kids would kind of mess around, kind of shake him by the leg, like a big father. Like kind of, he was like that kind of dude. He would go and like scan his bicep into the bar, like, act like a robot, and then do a set. And I was just like, man, this is fucking,
But he would scan his bicep into the bar.
Like, kind of like he's like some robot. Like, all right, complicated, just kind of doing. And it was kind of that kind of stuff that it took me a long time to figure out that it made it so much easier to come here, making that world here. He kind of was just like, he was big on Transformers. So he would like, I think this was like the Arc of Remembrance, where like all of them died or whatever. And he'd like create these stories around these bars where they weren't just bars, they were like Cybertron. Like it was like, and I was like, okay, I can kind of run with this because it made it super, let's say cool, but you weren't just going there to work out. You were just here to just like be somewhere totally different. So,
is he the one that had you shoveling snow?
Yeah. No, that was, and it is funny because I haven't done it in a long time. Like I'll come out here in the wintertime, but since he hasn't been around, I haven't brought the shovel. There was a little while where I think it was egotistical here, and then like the crowds change and the vibe changed, and it's a little bit more of an exchange. And I've learned that too, where I really kept to myself for a bit. And then I think I've like really tried to like, embrace the whole thing. So I've like tried to come around myself in that regard to kind of make it like, oh, you know what, like if you're about health or fitness or being spiritual in that regard, like you should be sharing, like you should be like giving, you should be and certain things just I think just should be free. Like if someone wants to like better themselves in any regard, and you have like some words of wisdom to like, oh yeah, like try this, try that, blah blah blah, this and that, like you should. And people have given that to me. So it's almost like it's not a debt per se, but it's it feels good to sort of pass it on. So 15, 16, like almost like it should be harder, but maybe it shouldn't. Like maybe like you can get to like 25 easy, if you weren't counting. So sometimes I feel like as long as you're doing everything with good form, stay up there. And then if you're really like degrading, you could just do like a little static hold while you're up there, or just get off the bar, because you don't want to like, what I don't think you should be doing is sort of, you're trying to get to say whatever. You say you're maxing out at 15 and you're on like 13 or 14, and you're doing all this like, neck up stuff and you're, flying all around. And maybe once or twice, it's like, I get it. But to do that all the time, I think you're gonna end up like getting used to going up on one side and you kind of like chicken wing up, like the way people do on muscle ups and that kind of stuff. Hey, what's going on? I think what I'm really kind of big on too with working out is not killing yourself to the point of like not being able to come out for like the next day or the day after, where if you can kind of just do just enough where you use your body well, but you can sort of, if you outside of like work, family and all that stuff, that you could do it every day, almost like farm strength. Like plants don't take a day off, so if you're like watering the plants or plowing the land or doing whatever it is, you gotta do it every day, to make whatever it is grow or keep the garden, the way it's supposed to be. I think it was, I don't know it had to be 10, 12 years ago. The first time I ever tried it was on that pole on the pull-up bar, not on these horizontal bars, and I did it effortlessly. And I think it was because there was a parkour guy from the UK. He was doing all these wild tricks around here. And he did the flag. And he's like this. And his friend is standing on him. So I go and I just like, I'm not even gonna do it. I just go like this. My legs come right up, like it was the easiest thing. I can't tell you how easy it felt. Because I had just saw someone doing something so ridiculous. And I had been working out hard, so I had the strength for it. And I was probably up there for like a minute. I couldn't do it the next day. The next day, I couldn't fight all this. What's that limiting factor here? It's like, is it really a lot of it mental? And I try to keep like that context where it's like to believe that you're strong enough, but you got to get your mind in there. Like, can you like let yourself do it? I guess you learn a lot, like there's a lot of like life lessons with this kind of like practice or discipline. That it's dealing with people, dealing with yourself. It's almost like working out is almost like it may not even be all that high on the list. It's true, because you really got to like deal with yourself. Like, I think, I try to tell people who are trying to get into it, like, don't even see it as a workout. Just get here and just don't, see what happens. You don't have to make it like this big thing that you have to like resist or anything like that. Like, come here. Sometimes you don't feel like working out. I'll come here and I talk and talk and talk and do whatever.
Sean, that's right.
Liam?
Yes. How you been, Sean?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How are yourself?
I'm doing alright. Yeah.
No ball today?
No ball today.
Do you have to be here in the bars? Like, you could be doing anything that you might want to do that's just to keep you active. So I try to tell people, like, do what you like to do. If you like to go hiking, why would you come here? I mean, you could. I mean, there's nature here and that kind of stuff, but, if you have access to, like, trails, there's plenty of stuff you can do on the trail, if you like to run, But there's also, like, something, too, where, you learn from different things here, where I've spoken to runners here. So it all comes, all kind of like it intersects a lot here. Be real, but but don't knock yourself down. I think we're all can be good at that. In some aspect of our lives. It's kind of try to remember that. Where this is just one aspect. If you can do it here, if I'm lacking somewhere else, like how do I incorporate that in other things that I'm trying to do? I love to draw, but like I want to take that to a certain level there too, and it's sort of, what lessons do I have here that I can bring there, or even the lessons from drawing that I can bring, exchange, where it's kind of the same like, you know, you do have to believe it. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to give yourself some credit. But you got to put in the work. You got to put in the practice, and kind of, and even then, have the mentors, like whether they're in books, whether they're on video, whether they're, you know, the coaches, or just, you just find something to keep that standard high and to get good advice, knowledge. You know, pick people's brains and even question them sometimes. Like try to like really know it. You know, and say, oh, do a push-up like this. Well, yeah.